Hey guys, so for today's science lesson, we're going to be talking about the animal learned and inherited behaviors. So these two are different. So before we start, I'm going to review a few vocabulary words so you can better understand it. Again, remember we were talking about the animal inherited traits before on the last video, and remember inherited traits is what you get from your mom and your dad. So again, some of the vocabulary is behavior. So behavior is anything someone does. So the way you behave at home, the way you behave at school, um, just anything someone does, or in this case, an animal. Then we have instinct. So an instinct is a behavior that an animal knows without learning it. So behaviors that are built in. So there are some behaviors that we already are born with. So some of the examples are cry, laugh, blink, drink milk, and eat. So kind of like a baby, whenever, babies are born, they just automatically start crying. So that's an instinct. Laughing, nobody teaches us how to laugh. It's just a natural thing that we do. Drinking milk, same thing with like a baby. A baby just automatically starts drinking milk. Nobody teaches them that. So again, it's just something we're born with already knowing. And again, blinking, nobody taught us how to blink. We just automatically do it. So again, that's an instinct. Same thing with eating. Nobody, teaches us how to, open our mouth and chew. We just automatically start doing it. So again, there is an instinct, and that is something we are already born with. Nobody teaches us that, we already know it. Then again, there's inherited traits which again, you get it from your mom or your dad, and they're your physical traits. So the way you look is a physical trait, or like the way the animal looks is a physical trait. So some examples is the eye color, the type of body covering, so like fur or scales or hard covering, the fur, the shape of the ears, or the number of legs. So again, that's just a picture of the baby. So again, the baby has natural instincts, which again is another word for inherited behaviors. And then this cat is just an example again of their inherited traits. The shape of the ears are inherited traits, the color of the fur, the color of the eyes, the shape of the nose, the whiskers, all of that is inherited traits. Okay, so the first one is inherited behaviors. Okay, so inherited, again, remember you get it from your mom or your dad, and then behavior is just what you do. So an inherited trait, again, these physical characteristics or traits in animals include eye color, type of body, covering, fur color, shape of ears, and number of legs. Animals are also born with behaviors that help them survive. An inherited behavior or instinct, remember that's something we're already born with, is a behavior that an animal is born knowing how to do. Some examples are migration and hibernation. Animals such as birds and butterflies migrate. Okay, so remember, migrate means they go to a new place, and if if it gets too cold, they go off and find a warmer place. Or move from one place to another in search of food, water, or warmer temperatures. Hibernation is when an animal goes into a long, deep sleep to survive the winter. So, again, hibernation is when animals just go under or hide somewhere and they just sleep for a long, long time. So, again, these are all inherited behaviors. Then we have our learned behaviors. So, again, learned behaviors, think of the things that you learn at home or learn at school. So it's exactly what the word means, learned behavior. So learned behaviors are what are taught that you learn. Sometimes animals learn how to do something by observing others or by being taught by other animals. So there's a lot of animals that learn how to do certain things just by watching another animal. these are called learned behaviors. So just like, if you were to, observe another student or another child, do a certain trick, you would, learn that behavior. Some examples include a rabbit learning to drink from a water bottle attached to its cage, a wolf pack teaching their cubs to hunt effectively, or a child learning to read. So again, those are learned behaviors. So this is a quick picture of a dog learning how to jump over, the hula hoop. That's a learned behavior. Learning how to read. That's a learned behavior. We're not born knowing that. Um, these, these animals learning how to do their tricks. And then again, ducks following along with the mom. A baby raccoon doesn't fish as a baby. It watches the mother raccoon learn how to fish. So this right here is an example of a learned behavior. However, a wolf separated from its mother from birth will learn to hunt for food even without a lesson from its mother. A wolf will learn to hunt more effectively when living with a pack and learning from the other wolves. So again, wolves learn how to hunt. So this is just a quick chart showing you the difference between inherited traits, which are the same as behaviors, and learned behaviors. So again, inherited is something that you get from your mom or your dad, and is also something that you're born with already knowing. Nobody had to show you how to do it. So again, your blue eyes, the fur, animal hibernation, which is an instinct. Animal migration, again, is an instinct, the long tail, or a boy has red hair. That's an inherited trait. Then learned behaviors, again, is something that somebody has to teach you, that you watch somebody else do, and then you learn how to do it. So again, a dog catches a frisbee. You teach that to your dog. The dog doesn't automatically know how to do that. Child learning to read, again, you go to school, you learn how to read. You're not born knowing how to read. A rabbit learning to drink water from a bottle in a cage. If you keep a rabbit in a cage, that rabbit learns how to drink from that bottle. Again, they're not born knowing that. The dog sits when told. So again, you teaching your dog tricks is a learned behavior. And a child speaks Spanish. So the language that you speak is a learned behavior. So when a child is born, they don't know what language to speak until the parents start teaching them. So again, when a child speaks Spanish, that is a learned behavior. You were not born, knowing English or knowing Spanish or knowing any language. And again, the wolves teaching their pups how to hunt. That's a learned behavior. Okay, we'll make sure again that if you have any questions that you ask on Google Classroom or Remind.